Why is the Softail Springer so ridiculously expensive? Cue the intro. Hey guys, Sean from Srkcycles. We have a 2005 Harley-Davison Softail Springer. Now do not confuse this with the Bad Boy or any other Springer front ends, or don't confuse this with the Softail Classic Springer, which has the bigger classic fenders. This would be more of like a, custom style short fender type of setup. And it's interesting about this bike is that these things, if you're looking for one, you know what I'm talking about. They do crazy, crazy money. I'm looking on Cycle Trader and other listing websites, and I'm seeing that these things are selling for like 05, 06s between $14,000 and $15,000 when brand new MSRP was only 17. Now it is an awesome looking bike. It's getting so out of hand of the value of these bikes that the front end itself, you can pay $3,600 for if you buy them used on eBay. And basically, this is the same bike, other than the front end, as any other Softail in the family that you would buy for like $8,000 with similar miles, possibly even better shape. So when you read articles and you read magazine stuff about these bikes and people looking back 10 years after they've had them and stuff like that, what you see a lot of times is people bashing them, but they bash them for the wrong reasons. They're bashing them because like, oh, the front end feels a little, springy, little sloppy, because it's a sprung front end, or it doesn't perform very well. But the thing is, they're missing the point. That's not the point. This is a nostalgic bike. This is a throwback bike. This is just supposed to try to bring you back to like 1948. Like some of the most iconic looking Harley Davidsons, where they had this cool Springer front end, and let's put it back on. And there's a reason why people love these bikes, are super sought after, and it's because it's awesome looking. It's a cool looking bike. Not everything has to be compared to sport bikes or has it improved. There are some things in life that they don't get better by improving, they get better by staying the same. And I would say this bike definitely falls in that category. What's interesting about this is when they made a motorcycle called the 48, they kind of styled it after that bike too, but they didn't put the Springer front end on, which I feel like that would have been a good move. Now just look at some of the technical specs of this bike. That is a 21-inch front wheel. This is an 05, so this is an 88 cubic inch motor. It's also still a 5-speed transmission. These are awesome bikes. Let's take it for a spin. Let's see what it rides like. Let's see what all the hype's all about. All right, guys, before we do the test drive, let's do the words of wisdom. Psalm 19:11, Psalm 119:11. Your word I have treasured in my heart, that I may not sin against you. There's another one I read this morning. Galatians 5:1. It was for freedom that Christ set us free. Therefore keep standing firm and do not be subject again to a yoke of slavery. Galatians 5:1. Let's do it. Always got to wear the proper gear. I got a text from someone making sure everyone at the shop was all right, because I heard that someone died from a shop in Landisville. I'm not sure what that's all about, but everyone here's all right. Sometimes rumors start. I hope it's just a rumor. My real concern is that this isn't one of those like Sixth Sense types of situations where I'm actually dead. This bike's got a great sound. It's definitely loud. It's if your goal is like, I hate my neighbors. I legit hate. And there's actually a pipe. I forget who makes it, but it's called Neighbor Haters, which is funny. Beautiful day outside. Great day to be riding your Softail Springer. So what's interesting about this is forward controls. They're not that forward. I'm 6'2". You can see that I'm pretty much, my knees are bent at like a 45-degree angle. And it's almost as if you put a level on here, I think my knees are actually higher than my butt or than my hips are. So I'm kind of So instead of like an ultra classic where you're like this, where I would be like this, you know what I mean? I'm up like that. Now I would expect them, I feel like my expectation would be that these would be a little more forward, but it's not bad. If this had highway pegs, I'd be pretty comfortable throwing my legs up on the highway pegs. Haters will complain about the Springer front end because it's old, but let's hit some bumps with it. Let's hit some potholes. Hold up, here we go. It just takes it. It takes it. What's nice about it is it's just a spring. It's, unless the spring breaks, which is very unlikely, it's always gonna work. You know, there's something to be said about that simple mechanical design that, all right, you know it's not gonna fail. You're not gonna be blowing shock, fork tubes and stuff like that, fork seals. Everything else can break, but your front end's gonna be fine. And all you're doing with the bike is just hitting bumps. Is it absorbing the bump? Does it feel good? Yes, it's a smooth, nice ride. Probably, if you're riding a bike like this, all you care about is how loud it is. And it's like a 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 in the loud category. It's very loud. But ultimately, when all said and done, this is what riding's all about. Making lots of noise, not always making lots of noise, enjoying a cool summer breeze that you are making by going fast through the air and enjoying life in a different way than what you normally, you know, you're so encapsulated when you're in a car. All right, you roll down the window, but whatever. I would much rather ride a bike with open face, no windshield, than drive on the highway with my car window open. Because all the noise and the weird pressure it does, if it's not set up for it, you know what I mean? If some windows are open, some are not. This is so much more relaxing. Now, of course, if you're riding like this, you're riding any type of long distance, you're gonna throw your leg up on the cover, on the engine cover on here on the side. Because that, my friends, is the epitome of comfort. Right here, I could do this forever. This bike's got 12,000 miles. I'm cruising at the speed limit, of course. And we're gonna jump on the highway. You know what, I don't know if I'm gonna do it a 0 to 60 run. Yeah, why not, who cares? I'm gonna do it a 0 to 60 run. Although it's more out of curiosity. Don't use that to compare and be like, oh, I'm gonna buy this bike. If you're buying this bike because you think it's fast, and actually I'm sure this thing's faster than, I'm sure this thing's gonna be 5 seconds or faster. And I'm gonna take it easy on my launch. There. Alright, so this is a 5-speed. And interesting about what Harley-Davidson did when they brought up the 6-speed is in 2005, they brought out the 6-speed in the Dynas. That's weird, right? Normally, when you bring out something new and big and awesome, you bring it out in their flagship bike, you know, like the Ultra Classics or the Touring. It would make sense they brought out the touring bikes, not the lowly Dynas. So in 05, the Dyna had a 6-speed in it, and then everything else had a 6-speed in 06. I think that's right. If it's not right, it's a year up, bump it all up. But I'm pretty sure that's right. But, so a lot of guys are like, oh man, you gotta get the 6-speed. It doesn't really matter. It's just one more gear. When it comes down to it, the final drive at 6-speed and the other 6-speed and the 5-speed, it's not that far off. I'm cruising, I'm going 65. The engine's not screaming. You know, it's not like this. It's relaxed. I'm relaxed. Everyone's relaxed. Just calm down. Everything's gonna be all right. You don't necessarily, I'm going 65. You don't it's not, don't make it a deal breaker, right? All things being equal, yeah, get the 6-speed, why not? But don't be all like, man, but it's only a 5-speed, it's going to be so slow on the highway. If that doesn't make sense. That's not how it works. It's just different gear ratios. But ultimately, I'm pretty sure the final drive is very similar. Fifth gear compared to the 6th gear. And watch this. You roll on that throttle, bam, it's got plenty of power to take you right up to the speed limit. This front brake is tight. A lot of times I hop in these older Harleys. It is cool to watch this suspension kind of do its thing. What? You seen that? But the front brake's real tight, back brakes. All right, this is what you want. You don't want a tight back brake. You want a real squishy back brake. You want to be able to actually use the back brake without locking up or potentially locking up. So the front brake feels real tight. I don't know why, but a lot of Harleys, maybe because these seals leak and no one ever does anything about it. Sometimes you hear about Harley guys and all they're using is the rear brake and you're like, whoa man, that's not good. So the front brake's super tight, back brake's super loose, which feels perfect. I can actually use it. I can actually trail brake it. I can throw that back brake in there a little bit and help me straighten up the, oop. All right, if you get too low, turning right, you will touch the exhaust a little bit. Full disclosure. But just like brake pads, tires, and floorboards and floor pegs and knee pucks, exhausts are a wear item, and you eventually will grind down your exhaust the whole way and you'll have to get a new one. That's fine. They're not that expensive. Alright guys, that wraps up the test drive. This bike is for sale at Srkcycles.com. Check out the website, make sure we still have it. But as of right now, July 15th or July something, we still have it. It's an awesome bike. It's one of the cheapest ones on the market for the miles, for the year, for the condition. At least 9,900 bucks. And as you can see, it runs really, really good. Also, if you guys are looking at to check out any of our gear, these gloves that I'm wearing, these are M1 Moto gloves. These things are sweet. They're lined with Kevlar. You can check them out. Alright guys, that wraps it up. We'll see you guys later.